Welcome.
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 Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to
The GCN Show.
Welcome to the GCN Show. This week we are going to be looking at the very best of cycling humanity in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic. And although it is only me in the studio today, we will be joined by Cy, live broadcasting from social isolation. This week in the world of cycling, we learnt that Swiss Bigla Katusha rider Elise Chabet has recently swapped Strada Bianca for hospital scrubs. As a newly qualified doctor, she decided to take the opportunity of an enforced rest from racing to give an extra supporting hand to Geneva University Hospital.
That is awesome, isn't it? Now, we also learned this week that cycling clothing brand Santini are going to be swapping making cycling shorts for face masks. They're hoping to gear up to be making 10,000 masks a week in a help to support the beleaguered hospital supplies in Italy.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Vermaat Clothing in Belgium are doing something very similar, as are Kitspo over in the US. And I must say, those ones look particularly stylish.
Yeah, to be fair, Dan, I think any face mask is going to probably make us look more stylish. But anyway, there are a fair few cycling brands actually really trying to do their bit. 3T, who are based actually just down the road from Santini in Italy, have partnered up with Elite, another Italian brand, and Zwift to create this heavily discounted bundle. And they're saying that all of the profits from it are going to be going to help the hospitals of Bergamo, which is a particularly hard-hit part of northern Italy.
If ever there was a time to buy cycling stuff guilt-free, I reckon now is it. And there are a whole load of other cycling brands that are trying to help out cyclists in need at the moment. RGT Cycling, for example, that's an indoor training platform, is currently free for all users.
Yeah, that's right. So normally there's like a free version where you can make use of the virtual roads, and then a kind of premium option where you've got all sorts of added functionality like structured workouts. But currently they're making it all free, which is pretty cool.
And there's another cycling indoor platform, Ruvi, which are doing exactly the same thing. That is free to all users at the moment. Plus, they have a fundraising initiative called #Ride for Italy.
Yeah, that's cool. And then the last one that's come to our attention actually is an Italian-based brand called Bike Evo. So that's like a sort of coaching and training app. And that is also free as well at the moment. So you could get adaptive training plans and structured workouts that you can do indoors. And you want to head over to their social media to find out a bit more about that one.
So, with that many different options for indoor training and so many of them now free, it feels like it's the right time to address the question as to whether you should be riding outside.
Now, clearly, this debate is all framed entirely around what's actually currently allowed, according to either your national government or your local authorities at the moment. And guidelines are changing absolutely rapidly all the time. But even where cycling is currently permissible, whether you should or you shouldn't ride outside is even more of a hot topic than we thought it was last week.
And understandably so, I guess. Actually, I was reading an article on Cycling Tips where it said that French police are currently monitoring Strava and handing out quite hefty fines to any rider caught contravening the very strict lockdown in that country. And quite right too, I'd say. Now's not the time to be breaking the rules and out.
No, that's it. I'd tell you one person who's not Dan. Arnold Schwarzenegger, a famous cyclist that he is, he took to Twitter to say that doctors are recommending that people still ride. This was as of last week. And so he was going to do so, but it was the only way he was going to be leaving his house.
But no selfies, though.
No, he did say, unfortunately, he was not going to be stopping for selfies, which seems fair enough, actually, at the moment. Now, currently, as we film this, it seems like in California, recommendations have changed. That means that cycling is now allowed as long as you do it by yourself. That's according to the San Francisco Chronicle, anyway.
Yeah, the problem can be, though, at the moment, that it's quite hard to find a place to be able to do a solo ride. So hotspots such as Richmond Park in London might well have to close very soon due to the abundance of cyclists and walkers that are using that particular park. And it's happening over in the US too. So the Philly Voice reported there's been a 471% increase in bike traffic on one bike path in the greater Philadelphia area and a 151% increase in the region as a whole.
It's funny, isn't it? We wouldn't normally complain about loads of people riding bikes. Well, I'm not complaining about it at all, but it is difficult trying to find that that space when you're out and just seeing so many people.
Yeah, and you do feel like saying, look, we've been cyclists for a long time. We were here first. Don't come out on our bike lanes and clog them up now.
Oh yeah, exactly that. Now, I'll tell you one tweet I did catch from a guy called Brent Teridian, who was basically saying that the authorities in Bogota, Colombia, and that's Colombia, not Colombia, I'll stress, basically they've had to put in emergency bike lanes in order to get people off public transport and onto their bikes to help combat the pandemic, and they've just carved out 130 kilometres of bike lane from normal traffic, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, that is very cool indeed. And goes to show that there are plenty of people who are still riding their bikes outside. Now, this is a question that we posed to GCN viewers over on the GCN app, basically asking whether you're riding your bike outside as normal, or indoors, or not at all at the moment. Half of you said that you are riding outside, but you're making sure that you do it on your own. A little bit worryingly, 24% say you're riding outside as normal, and if as normal means group rides, that is not cool and not something that we'll condone here at GCN.
That is absolutely not cool at all, is it? I mean, group rides absolutely have to stop. And even if you're riding like as a pair or a three, unless those people are part of your quarantine, which is a hashtag I saw the other day and I really quite liked. You just can't ride. You can't mix socially like that. And we did joke, didn't we, about blowing snot rockets last week and how, but it happens when you're out on a push bike, and so you shouldn't be riding with anyone else. No way.
Not least due to the risk of an accident and ending up in hospital.
Well, yeah, that's another point entirely. Anyway, there are plenty of people, obviously, like we said, commuting to and from work, which is great at the moment. And there's also quite a lot of companies that are taking to bikes to do some last-minute, spur-of-the-moment deliveries in order to help people who are stuck at home. And there's one company that we saw on Twitter called Fellas.wav, who specialise in last-mile pedal-powered deliveries. And they've been helping out a brand in Stockholm, Sweden, who have basically got rid of 4 vans and replaced them with 4 armadillo e-bikes, which I've never seen before, but looking at this video, I really want one. And Dan, you probably do too. Imagine how much beer you can fit on the back of that.
Well, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. And actually, talking about beer, that's a very neat segue into the next part, because we've been looking at what pro cyclists have been doing during their enforced rest from competition. And we're going to start with Lucinda Brandt of Trek Segafredo. She posted a video on social media the other day of her core workout. And to do it, she was using a giant bottle of Quaremont beer, which she'd been presented with on a podium recently. And unbelievably, that was not an empty bottle side, that was unopened.
I know, the restraint that she must have exercised in order to not open that giant bottle of beer. But then that might, Dan, explain why she's got a rainbow jersey hanging up in her workout room. And, did you get a jersey for the Southern Area Divisional Road Race Champs in 2002?
Well, it was the Wessex Divisional Championships at the time,
Wessex.
And no, I didn't.
Ah, well, there we go.
Meanwhile, Thomas again, like many of us, is trying to keep not just himself sane, but also his kids. Here he is, encouraging a bit of healthy competition at the De Ghent household with the Tour de Quarantine.
Yeah, it's proper taste of road racing, that, isn't it? With all that road furniture out there, it's not far off racing in the Netherlands, dodging the odd park bench and post.
Yeah. It did look a bit dangerous, didn't it?
Well, yeah.
Also, apparently, his son Timo is now under house arrest for 5 weeks for that shoulder barge against his younger sister, rather than the conventional 800 Swiss franc fine.
To be fair, it was straight out of Gianni Moscon's playbook, that, wasn't it? But anyway, everyone seemed all right. There were no shrieks or anything like that. So yeah, all good. His teammate Lotto Soudal, John Denkolb, was also looking after his kids, but he managed to find a bit of peace and quiet as well by actually sticking them in a trailer and taking them training with him. And he's got a bit of pace on there, hasn't he? He's obviously got form, John, at the moment, although tiptoeing around that corner a little bit.
I bet the kids are absolutely loving that at the moment.
I bet they are, yeah.
And finally, pro cyclist Rui Oliveira of UAE Team Emirates is rather callously demonstrating the difference between the haves and the have-nots in this video.
Are you referring to the football skills that we don't have, or the toilet paper that we don't have?
The toilet roll. It is now time for your weekly GCN inspiration. This is where you submit your inspirational cycling photos or videos to the GCN app. We pick our favourite 3 of the week, and each 3 wins a different prize. This week we are going to start in third with a person that's going to win some Contrast Edition socks in black.
Oh, have you got them in the studio, mate?
No, I thought you were going to be demonstrating them at home.
Well, no, I haven't brought them home with me, mate. I kind of left quite quickly the other day, so...
okay.
No, I've got
we should put a picture up.
Socks. Okay.
Actually, to be honest, given how you looked at the very start of the GCN show, I'm quite glad that you're not demonstrating the socks.
I've got trousers on now, I promise. Right, anyway, let's have a look at the photo, shall we?
Yep. This came in from Shortays, who wrote, with everything going on in the world and Vancouver basically shut down, decided I'd take advantage of the empty roads and bike paths. My first 100-kilometre ride appropriately reached on one of my favourite sections. Probably the only time I'll get this shot without hundreds of tourists ruining the view.
That does look like an amazing shot, doesn't it, to be fair?
It does.
There we are complaining about bike paths being overrun by people, and Shortays there has got it all to themselves. Yeah, that does look great, doesn't it?
That is a thoroughly deserved pair of socks, if ever I saw one.
Well, it is, absolutely it is. Right, second prize then. What's this week, Dan?
It is the Stripes t-shirt in black and red, and the Stripes t-shirt in red and black.
Oh, nice. Have you got them in the studio to show people?
No, but sorry, we haven't got any of them in the studio because I thought you had them all to wear at home.
Well, yeah, right. Okay, anyway, let's have a look at the photo, shall we?
Another great one. This one came in from Western Slope 02, who wrote, great day to ride over the Colorado National Monument.
That is amazing, actually, isn't it? Fantastic.
Well, if I was going to be a critique, I would say that the sky is not particularly blue in that photo, but the view is amazing nonetheless.
I'm not sure beggars can be choosers at the moment, Dan. That to me looks like an empty landscape, and it looks like it'd be pretty hard to catch coronavirus there. So, although there might actually be a massive queue of people just behind, I suppose.
Right, it's time to announce the winner, and the big prize this week for first place is a classic zip hoodie in black and white, a classic t-shirt in maroon and black, and a baseball cap in white and black. Actually, so I did receive a baseball cap the other day. It's my first ever GCN one.
Wow, I bet you look great in it.
It takes 10 years off me, mate. I look about 20.
Yeah, I believe they sell them in online shops, Dan. So,
yes, they do.
Right, anyway, the winner.
In first place this week, and this is a brilliant one, it was sent in by Sam Jelliff. Loads of traffic in Norwich, so decided to do my district nurse visits by bike. Patients were impressed, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's super cool, isn't it? And I mean, we've got to maybe take this opportunity, Dan, to just give a huge shout out to anyone who is currently working in the medical profession. I mean, they always deserve a shout out, but particularly at the moment when things are looking so tough. It's fantastic to see, isn't it? Really is.
An incredibly deserving winner, I think, this week. And actually, over on the GCN app, we've had so many inspirational photos submitted due to the current situation in the world. So make sure you get involved, ready for next week's GCN show. All you've got to do is download the app if you haven't done so already and upload them there.
Hey, Dan, last week, mate, we were talking about Chris Froome needing a beard tattoo in order to race gravel. Well, one problem that the medical profession are having at the moment is a lot of the male doctors are having to shave off their facial hair in order to have the face masks attached. And so actually they're going to really struggle to race gravel this year, so we should probably spare a thought for those as well. Because I think it'd be frowned upon to get a beard tattoo if you're a doctor, but yeah, not being able to grow a beard and then not being able to race gravel when the restrictions.
I mean, that would be the worst thing. Just as gravel racing resumes, you're still not able to resume yourself for a further 3 or 4 weeks.
No, basically like a beard quarantine, isn't it? So yeah, really tough. So yeah, spare a thought for those guys too.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
Cycling shorts now, and we're going to start with some new tech. Because even though, for many of us, we can't ride outside at the moment, it's certainly not, in my case at least, quelling my appetite for new tech.
You mean like these brand new zip service course, stem, seat post, and bars, Si, in silver. Silver apparently being the new carbon.
Well, I mean, how have you got them there in the studio? How did that happen?
They sent them over basically for the attention of Simon Richardson, but since you're at home in isolation, I thought I'd open them up and see what they're like, and they're nice.
Oh, man, you're not going to use them, are you? Like before I get back?
Well, I might well do. I can't deliver them to you, can I? So I probably will put them on my bike. But, well, they're like it's like bars, a stem, and a seat post in silver. It's really nice. I have got something for you at home there, Si, that you can access. It's almost a pun there, because it's a new web platform called SRAM Access Web. Well, basically, it connects up all of your connected enabled components, so things like your electronic group set and your power meter, or even your Quark tyre whiz. And then through your Garmin or your Wahoo coming soon, it then collects all of your riding data.
I'll tell you what, that actually does sound right up my street as well. And it'd be fascinating to see. So the data that it displays on that dashboard is everything from how long you've spent in each gear, plus how often you're actually changing gears. And so you'd think, wouldn't you, like short term, it'd be kind of interesting, but actually long-term trends that it would show could be really quite useful as well. And worth noting, Dan, that it's not just for users of SRAM ETAP Access, but actually first generation ETAP will also work with it, and so will Shimano Di2, which is cool.
Right, we shall move on to a couple more bits of cycling news now. Last week, Cycling Tips reported on what is now the richest prize in the world of cycling. It is a Strava challenge for female cyclists in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, this is weird, isn't it? But kind of cool. A guy called Mark Slavonia has put up $5,000 for the fastest time up Old La Honda, which is a 4.8 kilometre long climb, I've been learning, in the Palo Alto area with an average gradient of 8%. And it was going to be the fastest time up that climb by mid-April. Given the current situation, that's been extended to December the 31st.
Well, at least if the record is taken during April sometime, we'll know that there was no drafting, won't we?
That's true. And if there was drafting, then there's a pretty high penalty because, we went there last week, didn't we? Let's not go there again. Far more community spirited, perhaps. Our mates over at Orbea, who are based in Spain, remember, which is, well, need you reminding, another country in total lockdown at the moment. They've set up a Strava challenge, the Indoor 500 challenge. Basically, a great way, I think, of getting people a bit more engaged and a little bit more enthused, I guess, about the indoor riding experience, maybe, if you need it.
I think it's great how much good news is coming out of all of the bad through this thing at the moment. Anyway, now seems like a good time to check in with a few of the GCN presenters around the world. As you've already found out, Si is in isolation at home, as to is Manon in the UK. Not in the same place, obviously. Whilst Alan Marangoni of GCN Italia is right in the hotspot over in Italy.
Hi guys, how are you? Here in Italy we are locked down and that's a sad situation, but with GCN Italia we organize every day 1 hour indoor training live on Instagram. So we try to film also the show and something else. We try to give our best for the channel, but that's not easy.
Hack!
Oh, yeah, a minute.
Bodge of the week now.
Well, mate, you can't spring it on me like that. I can't even remember which way it goes from here. Is it that way?
It's the same way as it is when you're in the set, Si.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I always take my lead off you, mate. Anyway,
okay, well, it's from your top left and diagonally down to the right. Have you got it?
Yes.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Hack /Bodge of the week now. And we're going to start with this one that was sent in by Cicero 1906. Too afraid to travel with my bike outside of the car, I decided to purchase a fork mount from my local bike shop, a piece of wood from the local hardware store, and some bungees to stabilise the bike inside the cargo hold of my CUV. It does require me to remove the seat post and front wheel, but I'm more comfortable with the bike inside the car than out. And that, for me, Si, is a monumental hack.
Well, it is, but it also suggests a little bit of OCD, given that you could dispense with a fork mount and just rest the bike gently in the back, and then you wouldn't have to take your seat post out, which, for my own little bit of OCD, would do my absolute nutting. The seat post doesn't come out for anything unless it's an absolute last resort. So I'm going to say that's a bodge, mate.
Well, hold your horses, Si, because he might have extra cargo that he needs to transport, which just doesn't happen to be in the car at the same time. Something that's so heavy and sharp that he doesn't want to rest it on top of his bike.
All right, okay, so if his other cargo is so heavy and sharp, he doesn't want it near his bike, then okay, that's a hack. But
Okay, well, I'm going for hack. Are you going for hack?
Bodge.
All right. Well, 82% of people said that was a hack, Si.
Oh my word! I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks neat, but I still think that is effectively a solution to something that isn't a problem.
Well, I disagree with you. Move on.
All right, then next up, this is from Peddler de Sham. This is cool, isn't it? In the current situation, particularly when your 4-year-old wants to Zwift with daddy, pop stabilisers on bricks, jam the front wheel, and put a yoga roller behind the bike. Job done. That's cool, isn't it?
It's very
I'm
cool
not sure,
indeed. I think we're going to both
I'm not
say
sure
hack,
whether the
aren't we?
power's going to be accurate there, Dan. Is it?
Well, no, probably not.
So, but is that a bodge as well then? Because she's
No.
not going to be able to have very accurate power.
How can you say that's a bodge? It's a monumental hack.
Well, maybe if there's a speed sensor on there, I suppose, then you know, that's okay. Go on then, it's a hack, probably.
You're going mad in self-isolation at home. All right, let's see what the viewers said. 95% say hack, Si.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, moving on. Let's see what you think about this one. It came in from Janice Fritz. Barbecue bike. Recycled my old bike, replaced the fork handlebar, etc. Bought a bike trailer and mounted a gas grill on it.
Whoa! I mean, I've never really felt the need to go out and about with a barbecue before, but it's nicely done, and I suppose there's relatively, you know, not a massive amount of risk to travelling around with gas canisters and things, is there?
Well, no, but it is going to be made redundant anyway, because I'm presuming that is not a barbecue for one person on their own.
No, that is true, actually, isn't it? It's bad timing, isn't it? Because no one's going to be allowed to go out barbecuing with their bikes anymore. So you might as well just chop the bike off and just have it in your garden again.
Well, I don't think we can factor in timing to whether or not it's a hack or a bodge. Let's pretend that everything is normal in the world. I'm going hack.
Pre-coronavirus, bodge in the current climate.
Yeah, and then hack in the post-coronavirus era.
Yes, okay, good point. 73% say hack.
Yeah, they weren't able to put in the same caveats about which period of time that we were in, but yeah, 73% of people saying that was a hack. Moving on. X-Rider, this wasn't you, Si, was it?
Easy Rider, yes. Well, no, actually, it's not. I don't really have a lawn quite like that, but you know, that does look like a better way to mow the lawn than your average hover mower. I'd be up for that.
Hover mower? Flymo, I think.
Well, that's the brand, isn't it? This is like, you know, it's like a Hoover versus vacuum cleaner. Flymo versus hover mower.
Anyway, are you saying hack or bodge, Si?
There's a bodge, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. I'll say bodge as well. But 54% of people think it's a hack, Si. Quite a close one, that, but it is veering on the side of hack rather than bodge.
I reckon that'd be a difficult thing to ride, Dan. I mean, you wouldn't fall over, granted, but there's no way you're going to be able to steer properly with that. I don't know.
You might fall over if you hit a molehill. There's plenty of them on my lawn. Right, next up we have this one from Hinrich AUE. Extra stem to hold the Euro box at the front. I wanted a box at the front, and to attach it properly, I've added the extra stem and screwed it on. Served me well.
My word. I mean, I don't quite know what a Euro box is, but and it's ugly as anything, but I guess it's a hack.
You're saying it's a hack?
Well, I mean, yeah. What is a Euro box? Do we know?
No, like I said, it's like an American box, but it's from Europe.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't know how they normally attach. This is difficult, Dan.
Yeah, it's quite hard to pass judgment, but I'm going to do so anyway and say that's a bodge.
Yeah. Well, okay. 70% of the GCN app users agree with you, Dan. So I'll probably agree with you as well. To be fair, yeah, because otherwise you'd have a load of spaces. And actually, no, it's just a bodge no matter what, isn't it? No, yeah, go on, bodge.
Medium Spiny commented saying that is going to move and ruin the forks. Well said, Medium. Right, next up, Stephen John Baines.
Now this, Dan, is quite intriguing, isn't it? This really should be the ultimate easy rider. Actually, no, Lone Ranger, isn't it? More to the point. Where do you sit?
I have absolutely no idea. It was spotted in a Bunnings car park in Perth.
Wow.
Bodge?
Well, it depends what kind of a bike you want. If actually you'd really rather just be riding a stallion, then maybe that's the bike for you.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be riding a bike at all if you want to ride a stallion. I'm saying Bodge.
Yeah, okay, all right, fair enough then. That's Bodge for me.
And it's a Bodge from 84% of you at home as well. Right, that brings to an end a rather awkward edition of Hacks and Bodges here on the GCN show. Don't forget to get involved next week on the GCN app. Submit your Hacks and Bodges over there. You lot will vote on them, then we will, and we'll see if we're in agreement. Next up, it is Caption competition. I'm doing this solo because Si has run out of energy, lightweight, on his GoPro, I think. Anyway, this is your weekly opportunity to get your hands on a GCN Elite water bottle. All you need to do is put a witty caption for the photo that we're going to give you. Now, last week's photo was this one, over at Paris-Nice, which was the last race that we're going to see for quite some time. This was race leader Max Schachmann being pushed by his teammates. The winner this week is, I'll do my own drum roll, Earthian, who put caption, "Hey Max, that's streaming on the GCN channel." I see what you did there, Max. Thoroughly well-deserved winner of this week's Caption competition. Let us know your address over on Facebook as a message and we'll get this bottle sent out as soon as we possibly can. Right, this week's photo is also from Paris-Nice, not much option at the moment, and it is Nicky Assant of Team Sunweb. I'm going to get you started. You ready? Oh, cheeky. See what I did there? Yeah? Well, I've normally got Si next to me laughing hysterically at this point, so I'm finding it hard to judge right now. Anyway, put your wittiest caption for that photo in the comments section down below or over on the GCN app, and one of you will win this bottle next week.
Right, Dan, can I just say, I did hear that caption, and it was mine. I'd written that caption down for you. So
how did you hear it?
Well, because I've got you on video call as well, and I can't believe you tried to pass that off as your own. Anyway, never mind. Right, let's crack on with some of the amazing comments that you've been leaving on the channel over the past 7 days. First up, under how to train indoors, got this one from James Woods that made me chuckle. With all this extra time indoors, you should really straighten out all those picture frames. Which is a really good point, actually, Dan. They are looking a bit wonky today as well. So just before you go home tonight, do you mind just giving them a bit of a straighten? Thanks.
Anyway, underneath your video, Si, on Sunday from Colombia, we had this in from JC. Every year at the end of January, there is a Rito Alto de Letras, something like Alto de Letras Challenge. Basically, the road is closed and all the amateur cyclists can climb it. In January 2020, we were around 5,000 cyclists, and hopefully in 2021, it will be bigger. You're going to go and take part and see if you can win out of 5,000 cyclists, Si?
In Colombia, mate, I don't think I have a single chance. But no, that sounds amazing. And actually, to be fair, because it is a busy road, I said in the video, there are a lot of lorries. So the idea of doing it on a traffic-free day would be amazing. Right, this comment from Miles Zeit points out the next challenge should be Mauna Kea on Hawaii. And we have actually looked into that one, sea level to over 4,000 meters, but they basically don't like people doing it because the altitude is so severe. And we couldn't get permission to film either. So that one is probably off the menu for now, unfortunately. Right then, what is coming up on the channel this week?
Well, on Wednesday, we're going back to basics and we're going to show people how to hold a road bike handlebar. Now, for a lot of you watching this, that will be very obvious indeed because you're experienced cyclists. But when you get into it and it's all new to you, even how to hold the handlebar can be quite confusing.
Dan, so I'm fading down. I'm losing power again.
Oh, good. Well, maybe you can practice holding on to my brand new Zip Silver handlebar, Si. See you later. Then on Thursday, it's Fact or Fiction. We're going to be busting a few myths when it comes to cycling's racing legends. On Friday, we have got the start of an indoor training challenge. How fit can we all get over the course of 4 weeks? That could be a very interesting one indeed. On Saturday, we've got Manon Lloyd presenting her new bike. Sunday, we've got Ollie and whether or not he can beat Blake in a game of bike on a gravel bike, no less. So that should be very interesting indeed. And then Monday, we've got the maintenance show and also the GCN Racing News show. There will be a good lead story for the Racing News show, so make sure you check in for that.
I'm still here, Dan. Still here.
Oh, you are still there. Oh, you could have done some of it. It's now time for Extreme Corner, and you'll love this week's Extreme Corner because it's the only race you're going to see for a little while.
Welcome back to the 2020 Tour de Quarantine with live images out on course of our two leaders inside their final kilometer of racing, as Guy in the orange and Lady on the e-bike have found themselves with about a 45-second lead over the chasers behind them. That means that they will stay away today, and this race will be decided on the final climb of the day. And a decisive final climb it is, the Ep.376, a beyond category climb with an average gradient of 2%. This is where races are won and lost, and already the attack starting on the base of the climb here as the Lady on the e-bike surges out of the saddle here. Guy in orange trying to respond, but he's having trouble closing the gap. He just cannot get the wheel. This looks very good for Lady on the e-bike as she goes in the final 100 meters. She's going to do it. Lady on the e-bike wins stage 1 of the 2020 Tour de Quarantine.
Whoa, how
That came down to
close
the
was that?
wire, didn't it? Although, Dan, I couldn't help but notice that says stage 1 on it. So presumably, if there's a stage 2, we might get another one too.
Well, I can't wait for stage 2. That one was enthralling.
It was, yeah, it was. Right, unfortunately, that is it for the GCN show for this week. For the first time ever, actually, you can see there is light in my personal studio, and it's going now. So it's definitely time to wrap things up, Dan. I don't know what you think.
Yes, I would agree with you, Si. How would you rate our first remote GCN show out of 10?
Well, absolutely brilliant, I'd say. We'll leave it up to the viewers to decide. So I guess we'll probably get better at it, mate. And certainly I will have 2 batteries.
I reckon if this was on the hacks and bodges section of the GCN app, it would be a sort of 58% hack. We just need to teach a dad how to charge a GoPro battery. It'll be good for next week.
Yes, well, thank God it's not on the voting section of the Hack or Bodge on the app. I'll have a shave for next week as well. There's no excuse, really. I might be in social isolation, but I can still have a shave. Right, anyway, before we go, just a quick reminder, the GCN shop is still shipping. That's one of the beauties of an online shop, Dan, is that it's not shutting its doors for coronavirus. So anyway, loads of cool stuff, as always. We've also got a few key lines on sale, particularly the fan kit as well. So you might maybe treat yourself to something nice if you're stuck on your turbo. Get yourself a new kit.
Or maybe just the fan shorts if all you're doing is indoor training. Right, that really is all for this week's GCN show. Let us know what your current riding situation is at home by leaving that in the comments section down below. And we'll both see you this time next week.
See you later.